guys, thanks for joining me today. So what we have here is another knife. This is the Gerber Freeman, and this is a really big, very solid, just like tank of a knife. And this actually isn't mine. This is on loan from a friend. And you know, while this isn't honestly my favorite knife in the world, it's a pretty decent, pretty decent quality knife. So I thought I'd show it to you. And primarily what I see this as is just a hunting knife. That's what he uses it for. It's really too big, too heavy to be used as like a little, like an everyday carry knife or anything like that. It's pretty much just a hunting knife. And I think it's a pretty decent option as a hunting knife. So looking at this blade that we have on here, this is a very large, broad blade. It's about 3.5 inches long. And this is flat ground from that, kind of upper section. So it does come to a very sharp edge and a good relief edge on there. Should be fairly easy to touch up. Now, I really do like this blade shape, and what he uses this for is, like I mentioned, primarily a hunting knife. He's skinned about 14 coyotes with this. And overall, he really likes it as just a good hunting option. So that blade shape does provide some good belly, which really is good for skinning out game and stuff like that. Now this is the drop point version. They also offer a version that has a gut hook on it. So depending on what you prefer, that you can get a version with a gut hook. So I do like this blade shape, really nice. Now your steel that you use on here is 15 CR MOV. And 15 CR MOV is a Chinese steel. It's not the best steel in the world. It's what I would term a serviceable steel. It'll get the job done. Maybe the best way to put it is when I talked to my friend about it, he says that generally he can get about 3 coyotes skinned with this before he feels like he really should probably touch up that edge and sharpen it again. Luckily, it is a fairly easy to steel to resharpen. And as far as rust goes on here, he hasn't had any issues. I would recommend that you do keep a little bit of oil on there just to be on the safe side, but no major issues with rust that I've heard of. So looking at the opening mechanism on here, it is just a standard, thumb post or thumb stud, and I really do like it. It's very easy to actuate, no major issues with it. It's actually pretty well designed, fairly easy to get to, and it's on both sides, so I do like the opening mechanism. It's a very smooth knife. I mean, it really does feel nice. It's heavy, but it feels quality. Alright, so moving on to the lock on here, it is just a standard liner lock. So nothing, super strong, but I don't think that you're going to have any major strength issues with this, as long as you're, treating it realistically. And if you do want a really just absolutely bomb-proof knife, they do offer a fixed blade version of the Freeman. So if you're really just going to totally abuse the knife, I would recommend you go with the fixed blade, but for most realistic uses, I think that liner lock is going to be totally adequate. I mean, those are hardened stainless steel liners, and there's not any blade play in this at all. It feels like a really tough, strong knife. So your handles on here are, like I mentioned, just slab construction. This is an all stainless steel knife, and that's part of what adds to the weight. It is 6.6 ounces, so it's very heavy, but it feels really solid in the hand. And you can take these handles all apart if you want to. Mini Torx bit, you can adjust your pivot point if you need to. There's no play in there right now, but you could adjust it out if there was some. You can pop these handle scales off and totally take this thing apart for cleaning if you like. So that is a plus, is it's very easy to maintain. And if you're skinning out game and things, that's important. So as far as traction goes on here, it is a thick handle, so it does fill your hand very nicely, so I do like that. Now these scales are just walnut, and I don't think they're making the walnut version anymore. I think the current one is going to be a rubberized scale, but I think the rubber will add a little bit more traction. These wood ones are kind of slick, but you do get a good grip on it because of all this jimping that goes around the handle. So you'll notice tons of it on the bottom side, also these finger slots, and so really it fills the hand and you get a good grip on this. So I definitely wouldn't feel like I'm gonna slip in this knife at all. You have a nice big finger choil here, and so I do think you get a really nice grip with it. And so easy to clean, easy to use, and just overall a really nice skinning knife. Especially for the price. I checked on Amazon today, the version with the gut hook on there with the rubber scales folding knife goes right around $22. So for that price range, you know, that considered, for just a good solid folder, I think it's a decent option. Now if you're looking for something to carry with you, and you know, maybe you're hiking a little bit longer distance or something, you don't want to carry a, you know, this big brick of a knife, there are some other things to consider. There's lots of good competitive options out there. I'm not going to go over too many fixed blades, but a good competitive option as far as folders, maybe just go with the Spyderco Tenacious. This thing is much lighter, very similar blade length, very similar steel, Chinese steel. If anything, I think the Spyderco is a little bit better. Very similar blade length, and pass-through construction, so you could clean this out fairly easily as well, and much lighter. This is around 4 ounces, so much lighter option is the Spyderco Tenacious. This also has a pocket clip. Now, as I think I mentioned, this doesn't have a clip at all. What this comes with is a sheath. So this is really meant to just be kind of a belt knife. So you just slip it in here. It is a nice nylon sheath. I really prefer nylon over leather, so I do like that. It's Velcro closure. No issues with that whatsoever. And you just have a belt loop on the back, so whether you want vertical or horizontal carry, you can just carry it on your belt like that. So, you know, just for a decent hunting knife, very solid and fairly affordable, it's probably something to check out. So if you have any questions at all about the Gerber Freeman, feel free to leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to help you guys out. And if you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe. I appreciate that. Everyone have a nice day, and thanks for watching.